Hey guys, I'm Steph and welcome back to my beauty stash. Today we are continuing with the demo and quick tutorial of these brand new Wet n Wild Color Icon 10 pan eyeshadow palettes. This is a new formula that they've revamped their 10 pan palettes with, and up in it today is the Heart and Soul palette. Let me give you a closer look at what this little beauty looks like. Really nice, kind of pinkish, rusty shades. You got a nice mixture of some mattes and shimmers in there. And this, of course, is with their brand new ultra creamy, buttery smooth eyeshadow formula that is now vegan. This little eyeshadow palette retails for $6 on the Wet n Wild Beauty website. That is where I picked them up, as did I pick up the rest of the Wet n Wild products that I've been showing you guys these last few days. I want to say you can find these already in store at Walmart, and I think it was at Rite Aid and maybe some other drugstores. Just check your local area if you do not feel like ordering directly from the Wet n Wild Beauty website, and I wouldn't be surprised if these are coming soon to Ulta Beauty online, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm going to be creating two looks with this little beauty right here, and then I'm going to give you guys my review, my thoughts about this palette, and I'm also going to share with you guys which high-end palette I think this little beauty right here could be a possible dupe for. So guys, if you want to see the two looks I create with this brand new Wet n Wild Heart and Soul eyeshadow palette, keep on watching. Guys, so this is look number one. I did a little halo eye, and I started first with this pinkish peachy shade right here. I worked that in the transition area, and then of course I did the inner and outer portion of the lid with this beautiful deeper pink shade right here, packed on nicely, blended out really well. And then I went in first with my finger using this pretty pink shimmer shade. And then I went in with a dry little synthetic brush to kind of just pack it on. Then I also added a little bit of this gold shimmer shade right in the center on my inner corner and along the brow bone. For the lower lash line, I went in with both shades, this one here and this one here. And then I left the middle free for this pink shimmer shade, which I don't know if you can really tell wasn't getting the effect that I wanted, but that's okay. I really love the way the top of the eye came out. I went in, of course, with a little bit of the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liquid Eyeliner. This is my favorite black eyeliner. And then I went in to do the lower waterline with this NYX Off Tropic Pro liner. I love these NYX eyeliners. This one is in the shade Happy Hour. And of course, I completed the look with 2 coats of the new Wet n Wild Big Poppa Mascara. And I did curl my lashes using the brand new Wet n Wild Eyelash Curler. All right, guys, so let's jump over to this left eye and create look number 2 with this Heart and Soul eyeshadow palette. This is look number 2 using the Heart and Soul palette from Wet n Wild. Let me quickly tell you how I used each shade. I first started off with this peach shade right here, and I placed that all over the transition area. Then I went in with this darker shade right here, and I worked that on the outer corner as well as ever so slightly into my crease, but I only took it about halfway to. And then I went in with this darker brown shade primarily focusing that, kind of just stamping it and very lightly blending it on the outer portion of the lid just to kind of give it some depth and definition there. Then I went in with this beautiful pink or peach and gold shade. Very, very pretty. That's what you see all over the eyelid and also in the inner corner. I also added a little bit of this shade because I hadn't used this one. And I used a damp brush for this one, and I applied it kind of just on the outer portion of the lid, not taking away from the dark brown. And then I went back with this little gold shade right here for an inner corner highlight. And I think I added a little bit like right in here in the center. It's a really nice gold shade just to kind of give some more light to whatever look that you're doing. I didn't go for anything on the brow bone, but what I did is I went in with this really light shade right here, and I kind of just swept that all over the top and kind of on the outer edges just to kind of blend and diffuse everything. And this is the look that we got. A nice peachy brown moment. And to complete the look, guys, I of course went in with 2 coats of the Wet n Wild Big Poppa Mascara. I also added some brown liquid liner, and this is the Tartiest dual-ended eyeliner. It has a pencil on this side, or a retractable pencil, and then it has a marker on this side, and it is in the shade brown. And I also, for my lower waterline, I wanted to brighten it up, so I went in with this ColourPop cream gel liner, and this one is in the shade, what shade is this? Peach Fuzz. I, of course, will have all of the products I use both on and off camera listed in the description box down below. Some of those might be affiliate links, so if you do end up purchasing through them, I thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. Now, let me give you guys my review, final thoughts, and which high-end palette I think this could be a dupe for. Alright guys, so this is already the 3rd 10-pan eyeshadow palette that I use from Wet n Wild with their brand new revamped eyeshadow formula. I have to say it performed very well. I mean, the color story is really pretty. If you like the peach and pink kind of neutral tones, then you're gonna love this palette. I didn't encounter any issues as far as blendability, as far as fallout, lack of pigmentation, anything from this palette. I thought they all performed really, really well. I don't have any complaints with really any of the palettes so far, guys. I mean, you've been watching me create these looks for the last few days, and it's working. I think the looks that I've been creating have been coming out really well. This is a $6 eyeshadow palette. It is not a $65, $80 eyeshadow palette. But guys, for $6, you really are getting a very good quality eyeshadow palette, and you can really feel the difference in the texture and the formula with this new, more creamy, buttery formula versus their older formula in their older 10-pan palettes or their quads. I noticed that right from day one when I swatched this palette, even before I had read that they had changed the formula. I knew it right away. I knew, hey, I felt like, wow, these are creamy, these are buttery. Is this Wet n Wild? And sure enough, it is. I read up on it, and they did indeed change the formula, and now it's vegan. So I think that's even better. Now, like with all of the palettes that I have been showing you guys these last couple of days, there is kick up in the pan. Some shades more than others, and I didn't show it in this video. I think I forgot to, but I know like this shade gave me a lot of kick up in the pan, and you can even kind of still see some from this shade right here. The shimmers are kind of pressed softly, so just be careful when you're dipping your finger or your brush in there. Just go in with a light hand. But hardly any fallout, guys. I think I got one little speck right here, and that was from the shimmer shade, and that was it. I didn't get any fallout from anything else. So guys, we are 3 for 3 with these new 10-pan eyeshadow palettes with the new formula from Wet n Wild. Now let me tell you what I think this palette could be a very good alternative for. So in looking at my stash, one of the first palettes that came to mind because of this color story and probably because of the pink shade right here and the gold shade over here was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette. This is an oldie but goodie. This is just like a classic, a staple in everybody's eyeshadow wardrobe. And after I really sat down to study them, I thought, you know what? No. This one does not have all the shades that this one has and vice versa. With the exception of those pink shades and the gold shade, there really is maybe just 3 or 4 shades that this Heart and Soul palette has in comparison to what the Modern Renaissance palette had. So I didn't even bother swatching them side by side just because I thought, you know what? They are different color stories when you actually get down and look at it. Then I took a look at my Too Faced palettes and I found a couple, one in particular that this Heart and Soul palette is a very good alternative for. This is the Pumpkin Spice eyeshadow palette from Too Faced. This is what was released for fall 2020. This is a beautiful palette. If you picked it up a few months ago or maybe recently, you'll know that this palette does perform really well. I really like the color story of this palette. I like the packaging. I like everything about it. I even reviewed this palette on my channel. If you can still find this one, because I know it was seasonal, this is actually a really good palette to pick up and it might be on sale. However, I thought, you know what? Maybe the Heart and Soul palette has some of those shades. And instead of paying, maybe this is going to be on sale for like $30, save a few bucks, pick the Heart and Soul one up for $6. Then I looked at them and I thought, you know what? No, yes, some slight similarities, but not really. I do think the Pumpkin Spice palette is a little bit different, has some purples and greens in there that the Heart and Soul palette does not. Some slight similarities, but not as many as I would like. Then I looked at another Too Faced palette, and this is one that was released 2 years ago, also for the fall. This is the Gingerbread Spice eyeshadow palette, also another really good palette, but it was seasonal. It was released for the fall season of 2018, and if you missed out on this one, have no fear. I was able to find 8 shades that are in the Gingerbread palette in the Heart and Soul palette from Wet n Wild. And let me go ahead and insert that swatch photo that I did in natural lighting so that you can see what it's going to look like on a fair to light skin tone. So as you see, guys, those are very similar color stories. If you don't have the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette in your eyeshadow wardrobe and you've always wanted to have it, but you just missed out on its release, consider picking up this little $6 Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette in the shade Heart and Soul. You can create some very similar looks that you can with the gingerbread, but for a lot less money with the Wet n Wild. All right, guys, so that completes today's video. I will have one more going up. It could also be today. You might be getting 2 videos from me today. If not, it will be up Monday morning. And this one is going to be the final of the 4 10-pan eyeshadow palettes. And this one is in the shade Nude Awakening. This one is the only one that's returning. It was a pre-existing 10-pan eyeshadow palette and they brought it back in their new revamped eyeshadow formula. So I cannot wait to share that video with you guys. I will, of course, be creating 2 looks with it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. It could be going up later this evening, if not for sure on Monday morning. Let me know your thoughts, guys. What have you thought about all of these Wet n Wild 10-pan eyeshadow palettes? What did you think about the Big Poppa mascara? What did you think about everything? Definitely leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.